Welcome to this Q&A. My name is Randy Folliard. In this Q&A, I want to talk about the sin of Jeroboam. As many might know, because of Solomon's sins in 1 Kings 11, Yahweh tore the kingdom of Israel apart during the reign of his son, Rehoboam. The Bible confirms that Rehoboam would receive the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, and that Jeroboam would then receive the 10 remaining kingdoms or tribes. On a historical note, the tribe of Judah and Benjamin became known as the southern kingdom, while the remaining 10 tribes became known as the northern kingdom. Now, before Jeroboam received the 10 northern tribes, Yahweh's prophet Ahiah told him that if he would obey Yahweh, he would be blessed and that his house would be established. Instead of Jeroboam remaining faithful, though, to Yahweh, we know that he sinned against his Father in heaven. Now, how did he transgress Yahweh's word? We find the answer in 1 Kings 12, verse 28. Here's what it says there. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy mighty ones, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and he set thee one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made an house of high places, and made the priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah, and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised in his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. We see here that Jeroboam made several mistakes. Number one, he made 2 calves of gold to represent Yahweh. And this first infraction is broken the first commandment, which says, You shall have no other mighty ones before me. Number 2, he lowered the standards of the priests. In the Old and New Testaments, we find that Yahweh's ministers had to meet a very high moral standard. For example, in 1 Timothy chapter 3, Paul said that a bishop or elder must be blameless or beyond reproach. And number 3, we find that he made a feast in the 8th month on the 15th day, like the feast in Judah. If you're familiar with Yahweh's feast days, you will know that this was a counterfeit to the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, why did Jeroboam make these compromises? Why did he make these mistakes? We find the answer in verse 26. It says, And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people go up to do sacrifice to the house of Yahweh at Jerusalem. Then shall the heart of the people turn again unto their sovereign, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah. And they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam king of Judah. As we see here, Jeroboam was afraid that if the people would have gone back to Jerusalem to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, that they would have returned to Solomon's son Rehoboam and killed him. Even though we might be able to rationalize what Jeroboam did here, he showed a lack of courage and faith. I believe that Jeroboam is an example for us all. The Bible says that if he would have remained true to Yahweh, that his house would have been established forever. This did not happen, though. Now, before we judge this man, let me ask, are we worshiping Yahweh as we should? Are we calling upon his name? Are we keeping his Sabbath days? Are we honoring his feast days? Jeroboam worshiped Yahweh as he saw fit. Understand that this never ends well. Listen, when we change the worship of our Father in heaven, we are not, honoring him. So let's make it our goal not to follow in the pattern of Jeroboam and to worship Yahweh as he sees fit, as he commands within his word, to do it his way. Well, I pray that this word has been a blessing to you, and as always, we would encourage you to prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. Until next time, may Yahweh bless. Bye-bye.